The body of Venezuela's late president will be embalmed and put on public display for eternity. Hugo Chavez, reportedly killed by a heart attack following a long battle with cancer, is currently lying in state at a military academy in Caracas. Lizzie Phelan, a producer for RT's video agency Ruptly, stood in line to see him.
I'm standing near the military academy where the late President Hugo Chavez's body is on display in a half-open casket, and literally hundreds of thousands of people continue hour after hour to stream in to pay their last respect. Now, the mood here is obviously very somber, but as you can hear, also people here celebrate the man who they say not only gave them a voice, but also gave them the opportunity to participate in a society which, prior to Chavez coming to power in 1999, was one of the most unequal in the world in terms of the divide between rich and poor. And the people here today are very much from the poorest parts of Venezuela, the poorest parts of the cities known as the barrios, and also from the countryside. And today they say they're very much united in the collective determination to continue the socialist project known as Bolivarianism, which Chavez initiated, which they say not only transformed their lives but also changed many parts of the world. And the people here say that Chavez is very much an immortal kind of figure who will continue to shape Venezuela for generations. Lizzie Phelan, RT, Caracas.
Russia's President Vladimir Putin believes, on display or not, Chavez has already written his name into the history books.
Chavez was a brave and very thorough man who was able to showcase strong character to go through with his plans. He genuinely wanted to rid the country's poor citizens of their plight and improve their lives. Chavez became the symbol of independence throughout Latin America while he was still alive. He's joined the legendary ranks of Simon Bolivar, Fidel Castro and Che Guevara.
The powerful personality and popularity of Hugo Chavez means we could be hearing about him for a long time to come. His embalmed body is to be displayed at the Military Museum in Caracas. For more, we're now joined by RT's Anissa Nawe. Anissa, this has become something of a tradition among socialist leaders, hasn't it?
It has indeed, Tabby. History has taught us many controversial figures live on after their deaths through legacy, but for a handful, that's not enough for those they leave behind. Lines still form on Red Square here in Moscow at Lenin's mausoleum, where the former Soviet leader has lied embalmed since the 1920s. There are still movements and debates today pushing for the tomb to be dismantled and Lenin laid to rest. Stalin was also embalmed and actually laid next to Lenin for 8 years, but the Communist Party Congress decided to remove his body and bury him outside the Kremlin walls. There's a clear communist trend here. China's Mao Zedong is still on display in Tiananmen Square, though he did sign a proposal that calls for all leaders to be cremated 10 years before his own death. He was embalmed, though, in 1976. Ho Chi Minh is on display in Hanoi, Vietnam, despite his wish to be cremated as well. But Latin America has had only one major figure embalmed, and she is Eva Perón. There's quite a story surrounding her remains. The Argentinian First Lady's body was meant to go on display, much like Lenin, when her husband was overthrown in a military coup in 1955 and fled the country. Eva Perón's body disappeared. Well, in 1971, it was revealed that the remains were in fact in Milan in a crypt under a different name. Iveda's body was exhumed and flown to Spain, where her husband and his third wife kept the remains for a while. Apparently, they kept the corpse, in fact, in the dining room on a platform. Then, when Juan Perón came out of exile and returned to Argentina, he became president for a third time, and Iveda was finally returned and buried after his death in 1974 in Buenos Aires. So 22 years in total from death to her final resting place. And Tabby, especially surrounding Perón's body, Iveda, there's so many stories. A book came out in 1995 that claimed not only have there been tons of replicas made, that the actual original embalmed body was destroyed by a hammer, that it was abused by some kind of officer sexually. I mean, really serious scandal. So if anyone wants to go online and read about that, it's really interesting stuff. And now we have Hugo Chavez.
Hugo Chavez. Would you stand in line to see him?
I would, definitely.
Yeah?
Definitely.
I would too, out of curiosity. Anissa Nawe, thank you.